Welcome back. 22 countries, including Nigeria and the United States, are participating in this year's maritime security exercise at the Gulf of Guinea. At the opening session of the final planning for the exercise, codenamed Obangame Express, the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command said the need to constantly monitor the Gulf of Guinea remains a major focus, especially for member nations. Our correspondent, Loretta Chiogo, reports. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command arriving with his men for the conference.
Well done. How are you?
He makes his way straight into where the US, Nigeria and other navies are seated. They have one plan in common: to end the activities of pirates on the Gulf of Guinea, the economic zone for oil exports. It is a tradition annually to monitor and protect the Gulf of Guinea from piracy. This year's event is tagged Obangame Express. Rear Admiral Sami Alade speaks on behalf of the Chief of the Naval Staff. He says there's need to assess the security progress made at the Gulf of Guinea. And back to where he arrived from, the FOC mentioned that the Nigerian Navy still has a lot more to do to attain the required capability.
We are not there yet. That is the truth, but I can assure you that we are stepping up our efforts.
Do you have the wherewithal to deal with the activities of criminals on the sea?
Yes.
Do you have the wherewithal?
Yes, we have platforms, but as you also know, that we do not have enough. We still need more of these platforms.
Captain Nancy Lacour is optimistic the exercise would boost the spirit of sub-regional cooperation amongst maritime forces.
We realize the importance of building the partnerships in the area and increasing the maritime security capability of our partner nations, which will then, increase the maritime economic security also.
Though the exercise will be carried out simultaneously in 3 different regions in Africa, which includes Nigeria, this is the second time the country will host exercise Obangame Express. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News. The world's leading international premium lager beer, Heineken, has continued to drive its brand, but for the first time in its history, Heineken has changed the way it delivered its television commercial content as it unveils its latest global ad campaign, The Odyssey. The advert features the final 20 non-actors picked for being masters at the skills needed for the TVC. Created by Heineken with Wyden and Kennedy Amsterdam, the advert follows the Legends pattern, which saw a series of men of the world who are pushed to discover their limits and overcome them. According to the marketing director, Nigerian Breweries PLC, Walter Drenth, The Odyssey gives an opportunity to 20 young men to show their legendary talents. He believes those who drink the beer have at least one legendary talent. The advert, which is 90 seconds long, is already live on a variety of broadcast and digital platforms. Now, who would have thought that a financial organization would host doctors and advocates of cancer awareness in their executive offices? Well, that's what Skybank did today at a press briefing in Lagos on the occasion of the World Cancer Day, which is commemorated on the 4th of February every year. The CARE Organization and Public Enlightenment Foundation, under the auspices of Skybank, campaigned for a determined and deliberate fight against the scourge.
This may look like a business meeting, but it is no ordinary trade taking place here. February 4th has rolled by again, and these people from the CARE Organization and Public Enlightenment Foundation, sponsored by Skybank, here to commemorate the World Cancer Day. The Executive Director, South-South of Skybank, Mrs. Ibie Ekong, shows the institution's commitment to its corporate social responsibility as she launches into a well-informed speech on the impact of cancer.
About 70% of all cancer deaths occur in low and medium income countries. About 30% of cancer deaths are due to the 5 leading behavioral and dietary risks: high body mass index, popularly called BMI, low fruit and vegetable intake, lack of physical activity, tobacco use, and alcohol use.
An oncologist with the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Antonia Showomi, makes a case for early detection.
If there's something you're noticing abnormal from your regular system, it's good for you to seek for medical help. We've seen cases where children less than 20 have breast cancer or enlargement, and they don't tell their mother, don't detect it until it's late.
Among other things, the Cope Foundation, sponsored by Skybank, has treated at least 30 indigents and screened more than 10,000 women within and outside Lagos.
Skybank sponsored our participation at all international conferences. State-of-the-art breast screening machines have been donated to help detect breast cancer early. We're appealing to the government to please give us a comprehensive cancer center.
The World Cancer Day was founded by the Union for Cancer Control to support the goals of the World Cancer Declaration, which is prevention, detection, and treatment.
Well, it's time now for business news, and here's Adeshawa Josh.
First Bank, truly the first.
Welcome to Business News. About 1 trillion naira of public sector funds was withdrawn by the Central Bank of Nigeria from deposit money banks. This is part of the regulator's new cash reserve requirement policy, which will have 75% of public sector funds withdrawn from the system. According to the CBN, this will address the problem of excess liquidity in the banking system and also encourage banks to mobilize savings from sources other than the public sector. Market watchers believe this latest development will not only constrain bank earnings growth, but reinforce the import dependence of the economy. In company news, Standard Bank has commenced its 2014 West Africa Investors Conference in Lagos. And the event, which has its theme, Nigeria Time to Deliver, provided an avenue for the government to showcase the potential in the country's economy. Investors from both within and outside of Nigeria were also in attendance. Our correspondent Balaji Akinwale reports.
In the cement sector.
The opening session of the 5th Standard Bank West Africa Investors Conference brought together both local and international investors, regulators in Nigeria's financial markets, bankers and technocrats from across the country. The chairman of Stanbic IBTC Holdings PLC, Mr. Atedo Peterside, set the ball rolling when they described the robust nature of Nigeria's investment climate.
We at Stanbic IBTC Holdings PLC believe that several efforts in both the public and private sector in recent years have ushered Nigeria to a point where execution is now the primary lever for the economic transformation we all desire to see.
The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mr. Olusegun Aganga, who delivered the keynote address, highlighted the contribution that Standard Bank has made in Nigeria.
For over 150 years, Standard Bank has positioned itself as a bank for Africans and by Africans.
This panel comprises the head of regulatory bodies in the country. They intimate investors of the strategies with which they would employ to attract more investors into the country.
We started out with a transformation program that is really based on 5 pillars: targeted business development efforts, 21st century technology strategies, strong regulatory environment, investor protection initiatives.
The 2014 Standard Bank Investors Conference provided a platform for the bank to strengthen its relationship with investors in the West Africa sub-region. This forum is seen as one that will not only yield positive results, but also position the bank for greater opportunities in the sub-region. And for Nigeria, it is time to deliver. Bolaji Akinwale for Channels Television News.
Still on business news, in the middle of last year, automobile giant Coscharis Motors officially bagged the sole right to sell and service Rolls-Royce cars in Nigeria, becoming the first authorized dealer of the luxury range in Africa outside of South Africa. Well, today, the company announced that its state-of-the-art sales showroom will open in May 2014 this year to complement the service center. Our correspondent Henry Ogunjimi was at a reception for the Rolls-Royce team in Lagos and now brings this report.
Coscharis Grand Showroom in Awoyaya area of Lagos State. Somewhere inside a section of the complex, the Coscharis management team shows its readiness to stock, sell and service Rolls-Royce cars here.
We are coming there and somebody will sit back and say, this
Dr. Cosmos Maduka reveals why his company is taking on the brand.
And we want to create the right foundation to make the owners feel truly fulfilled that they spend money in the right direction after they have worked hard. Just like we have promised you guys that we will always continue to set a standard. When others try to catch up, we'll do something new. But it looks like we're getting to the climax now because I don't know where else we're going to go after this.
About 150 Rolls-Royce cars are already being driven across Nigeria. And these excite Mr. Jeffrey Briscoe from the Rolls-Royce Motor Cars Limited.
Other than South Africa, this is the only authorized dealership in the African continent. Coscharis has a big commitment to getting the right cars into the market. We have some beautiful Rolls-Royce coming here. Our aim is not to build too many more cars than that. We keep our products very, very exclusive, and that's worked for us very well.
Coscharis also has in-house experienced Rolls-Royce technicians and is offering Nigerians the opportunity to build their bespoke tropical cars from the scratch.
Since the teaser campaign, we received a lot of cars for maintenance. I know it's good news, it's gladdening to the hearts of a lot of owners and prospects as well.
And also we can provide new cars and specify new cars for the customers that want to build the car from scratch, basically to celebrate a momentous occasion or for everyday use like a ghost, for instance.
With this addition of the high-end luxury brand to its stables, Coscharis Motors continues to raise the bar in the automobile sales and service sector. Henry Ogunjimi, Channels Television News.
And finally, on Business News Tonight, the bear staged a comeback at the Nigerian equities markets, bringing the all-share index down by 0.73%. Well, Harriet Agbe joins us now with more details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The Nigerian equities market resumed downtrend as the market yielded the gains logged on Monday. Down 0.73%, the all-share index and market capitalization ended the second trading day of the week at 41,064.91 and 13.16 trillion naira respectively. Market heavyweight Dangote Cement gave up the gains recorded on Monday. The equity shared 2 naira 80 kobo from its share price, which is about 1.15% off. International Breweries and Nigerian Breweries PLC were among the top three prize losers. Nestle consolidated in the gains recorded in the previous trade, appreciating by 1.77%, adding 20 naira to its share price, and is followed by Better Glass and Owando, adding 10.19 and 7.77% each. Universal Insurance Company, Zenith Bank, Transcorp, Owando and Guarantee Trust Bank were the most actively traded stocks for the day. When stocks crossed the finish line, investors had bought 407.79 million shares worth 4.45 billion naira in 5,846 deals. Well, those are the day's trading figures. I'm Harriet Agbini.
Thank you, Harriet. That's Business News Tonight. The News at 10 continues in a moment.
First Bank, truly the first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's Professional Football League rated 4th best in Africa. That's on Sports News. Do stay with us.